Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about an alternative exercise to the squat. Most people when they're squatting, they've got the barbell on their back, maybe the barbell in front of them, or even maybe a dumbbell or kettlebell in front of them. And the problem a lot of people experience with this exercise is that they feel the lower back or their core being the limiting factor and not their quads. So if you're somebody who wants to train squats for your legs, but feels more like that the core or lower back is the limiting factor, then this is the exercise for you. Alright, so for this exercise, you're going to need a normal barbell, a squat rack with the J-cups set to about knee height. Okay, so they're set to about knee height down here, and they're on the inside of the cage, and you're going to see why that's important in a second. Okay, so you're just going to lie the barbell down here at the squat rack. And now the bar can't slide and come off the rack because it's on the inside. You're also going to need two bands of the same strength. So for most, let's say intermediate people, a band of about this length will be all right. Maybe if you're a bit more of a beginner, you can use a thin band like that. I'm actually going to show you at the end how you can do this with just one band and a slightly easier setup. I'm going to take the red bands because they're easier to see, and I'll show you how to set them up. Attach the bands to the bar. And you're ready to go. For an added bonus to get even more quads, even less back, you can stand on a squat ramp, or if you don't have one of these, just have your heels elevated on a plate. So the idea behind the exercise is the following. When you're squatting with a bar on your back, a bar in front of you, the weight is first of all going through your entire upper body and being pressed up then by the legs, but it's not directly connected to the legs. Okay, so if your core or your lower back is not strong enough, that weight that's sitting on your shoulders first of all has to be supported by your back before your legs can press up the weight using your core or your lower back as a stable platform. Okay, so the idea here, we're going to take the load at least partially and put it directly into the muscle that we want to train, and that's where these bands come in. What you're going to do is you're going to take the bands and you're going to put it directly behind your knees like this, and you'll walk back onto your ramp if you have one, or you just walk back so that there's some tension in the bands. All right, so I'll be standing on the ramp here. Now, look what's happening. At the top of the exercise, instead of there being a break, my knees are actually being pulled forward by the band. So I need to work for this. I need to push my knees back and really squeeze the quad. Okay, so look here. Here would normally be a rest at the top position of the squat, but now I'm being pulled forward. Okay, so what you're going to do is stand on your ramp, normal squat position, stay nice and upright. Slowly lower yourself down and then drive up and push your knees back. Flex the quad at the top. Flex it actively. This is no longer a break position. You're still working here. You're working up. Squeeze the quad. Slowly down. Stay upright. Push back. Squeeze the quad. Of course, you can also grab an external weight, dumbbell or other, hold it up to your chest, and now you have the resistance from the bands and the normal weight from the squat. Let's see how a few of these look. Alright, so general tips for the exercise. Choose, first of all, a light weight and see how your knees feel. Now, nothing in life is free. We've taken some of the load away from the back, but we have put it onto the knees, which is exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to put load onto the quad, and the quad moves the knee. So if you feel discomfort in your knees, maybe try without the raised heels. Try with a lighter band, don't go that low, and just generally play around with it. You shouldn't be feeling discomfort in your knees, you should be feeling burn in your quads. Tip number 2, make sure you stay upright. Now, the whole idea is to not lean forward. That's why we're using this ramp. If you're leaning really far forward at the bottom, you have again shifted at least some of the weight into the lower back. Now, that may not be a bad thing, and it also may not be a problem for you, But if you are feeling a little bit of the lower back, try stay more upright, chest out, even look very slightly upwards, not crazy, just a little bit upright. And when we're talking about sets and reps, this is definitely more of a high rep exercise, 10 to 15 reps, multiple sets. You're gonna feel your quads working like crazy. Unlike the normal squat with the bar on your back, you won't feel an entire full body exhaustion. Your nervous system doesn't have that much to do, but you will feel your quads. And I'm thinking, start off with maybe 5 sets, work your way up to even something like 10. Once you can get 10 sets, increase the strength of the band or use a heavier weight. If you find holding the weight up in front of you becomes a little bit too difficult just for your arms, you can always do it in a front squat position. So an alternative setup, if you only have one band or you just want to do it a lot quicker, is the following. Attach the band to the cage, and you'll put it behind your knees as normal, walk back, get your weight and do the exercise as I explained. The disadvantage here is your knees will be pulled somewhat inwards and you don't have that freedom for your knees to point wherever they want in the exercise as I showed in the beginning. Alright, so let's talk about why does this exercise actually combat the problem of feeling your lower back, and why does it actually train your quads more than a normal squat? In a normal squat, just based on the fact that you have this load on your back, you have to lean forward slightly at least to stop yourself from actually falling backwards. Secondly, on a normal squat, as I mentioned before, the weight's up here, your legs are down here, meaning the transfer of strength from your legs to the weight has to go indirectly through your core, your midsection, your lower back, and if that becomes a limiting factor, it's the reason you have to stop. And your legs may have energy for days, but your lower back, your core is just gassed and you have to stop. So by staying very upright and by having the bands directly loading the muscles that we want to train, we get over both of these problems. So let's just talk about who is this exercise for, who is it not for. People are going to find this exercise most useful. People who have lower back problems, potentially very tall people who just have a very long midsection. As I said, generally people who feel their quads not really working that much in the squat and feel more their core and lower back. And anyone who wants to specifically grow the muscles of their legs and doesn't care that much about the overall strength benefits of the normal squat. On the other side, who is this exercise not for? This is not a complete beginner exercise. The setup is not that easy. And if you're just getting started, just do normal squats for a while. Don't overcomplicate your life. If your goal is to get a super heavy back squat because you find that it's cool, you want to tell your friends how strong you are, this exercise may help a bit, but of course, you need to be doing normal squats for that. And if your goal is full body strength, if you want to just get really strong, again, this exercise specifically doesn't train your full body. That is the benefit of it. But then of course, the flip side is if your goal is full body strength, this isn't for you. Potentially, someone who is looking for the full body benefits of the squat could use this as an accessory exercise. So you do your normal squats, you get as many reps as you can, whatever you're supposed to be doing. And now you throw in, a 5 set, 10 sets of this at the end to just really destroy your quads in the same way you may do leg extensions or some other isolation exercise. So if you found this information helpful, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, tell me what you thought about it. Did you feel your quads working more than normal? Are you going to be incorporating this into your workout? Let's talk about it in the comments. And that's it for today. See you next time.